All right, guys, today in class we talked about creating ratio tables. Okay, so there's a couple steps that we need to remember. So how to make a ratio table. The first thing that we need to do is we're going to start your first row in the table with your original ratio. So the first row of your table is going to be whatever they give you as your original ratio, whether it be just a numerical problem or a real world problem. That first row is going to be your original ratio. Then you're going to fill in your additional rows by multiplying each value in your ratio by the same number. So, tip, you can multiply by any number as long as you multiply both values in the ratio by that same number. Okay, so let's take a look. This is a ratio table, and all a ratio table is it is a table of equivalent ratios. So we've taken the original ratio and we've multiplied them both by the same number so that the ratio, held true just for various different quantities. So 3/4 is our original ratio. That's why it's in the first row of our table. Then to get to 6/8, we multiplied the original ratio by 2. So to get that second row, we just multiplied by 2. 9 to 12, we would have taken our original ratio and multiplied by 3. 12 to 16, we would have taken our original ratio and would have multiplied it by 4. So you take your original ratio for your first row, and then you're just going to multiply to get additional rows. So let's take a look at an example here. It says, create a ratio table for 5 to 2. Okay, so I put 5 to 2 in my first row as the table because that's my original ratio. Okay, so then I'm going to get my second row, I'm going to multiply by 2. So I've got 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 2 would give me 4. And that's an equivalent ratio because we just multiplied it by 2. So then we're going to do the same thing for our next row. We're going to multiply by 3. So 5 times 3 gives us a 15. 2 times 3 gives us a 6. To get my next row, I'm going to multiply by 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 gives me 8. To get my fifth row, I'm going to multiply by 5. So 5 times 5 would give me 25. And then 2 times 5 would give me 10. Now remember, we talked about in class how to make a table, you have to have at least 5 rows. So don't forget that on your homework or when you're working independently. You got to have at least 5 rows. Okay. Let's look at another example. We've got create a ratio table for 2 to 3. So again, our first row is going to be that original ratio, 2 to 3. To get my second row, we're going to take the original ratio and we're going to multiply it by 2. So 2 times 2 would give me 4. 3 times 2 would give me 6. To get my third row, I'm going to multiply by 3. So 2 times 3 would give me 6, and 3 times 3 would give me 9. To get my fourth row, I'm going to multiply by 4. So 2 times 4 would give me an 8, and we have a 12. Then for my fifth row, I'm going to multiply by 5. So we would have a 10 and a 15. Now again, we don't have to multiply sequentially. We don't have to do 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can multiply by any value as long as the number, as long as we multiply by the same thing.